Good afternoon and welcome to Spark Talks. This is our very first, hopefully in a series of talks with inspiring leaders within the community and also from outside the community as well. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. We are going to be answering the big question, which is quite a hot topic at the moment as well, in regards to what the current situation is. How can we respond to challenges successfully? We will be joined by, first of all, my very talented co-host, one of our grade 8 students who has just received a number of awards, no doubt, this morning, Mr. Anish Daik. Anish.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anish Daik, and as you know, I'm in grade 8. And yeah, my favorite subject as well is design. And I'm happy to be here with all of you today.
Great. Thank you very much, Anish. And I'd like to now introduce our guest for this show. He is a parent. He is also was a workshop leader at Spark Week 2019. He's the founder and the CEO of Atlanta-based company GNH Soft Inc. and also the Dubai-based company Almed Tech FZE. Welcome to the show, Hisham Khalafallah.
Thank you, Evo and Anish, for hosting me. Thank you, Dwight, for the opportunity. I do appreciate it a lot, and I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, if we just jump straight into the first question, Mr. Hisham, could you please tell everyone a little bit about yourself and the work that you do?
As you mentioned, I'm the founder of two companies, Atlanta-based GNH Soft and Dubai-based Almed Tech. Both companies work in the area of information technology, mainly in the software area. We do business solutions, and we also do what we call it system software, which is one of the unique areas that we work on. I'm a graduate of University of Alabama. I'm a computer scientist. Then I did my executive MBA at Mercer University in Atlanta, Georgia. I started as a software engineer, developing software, then becoming director of technical marketing. And in 2006, I took the courage to start GNH Soft out of Atlanta, Georgia. I also do some training in some areas that I'm specialized in, like design thinking, creative leadership, strategic thinking. Also, one of the things I find extremely important to tell about myself, I'm actually a footballer. I'm a professional soccer player. I'm a Sudanese American. I was playing for the first division in Sudan. I ended up, so I'm just trying to show the importance of soccer and football and sports in general. I ended up from Sudan to get like a full scholarship to play soccer in the University of Alabama, which has changed my life. We always define ourselves by how we end it. So we always say I'm the founder and the CEO of a company because that's what I do today. But I think I'd like to define myself not more of being someone learned a lot from playing football and playing soccer. So I think that contributed a lot to the things that I've done in life. And also, I think through the career to reach a level where I became a software engineer, and then I started the companies and get into the training and the software development. I have faced a lot of difficulties in life. And I remember when I was in the USA, I had a lot of difficulties financially, even though I had a scholarship. And I remember at one point of time in my life, I was playing for the soccer team. I was full-time student. I was a delivery boy delivering pizza and steak. I was a campus counselor. I was a tutor. So I had like 5 different personalities at a time. So it was a lot of difficulties and a lot of challenges. and I had to overcome uh, to reach, the next stage on the next level of my life. So I just felt that is also worth mentioning, not just the end, but try to reflect the whole experience.
Great. Thank you. Anish?
Yeah, that's very amazing. So, how's life been for you from the past 3 months?
Oh, this is a very good question, and I think everybody would love to be asked this question. I would say different. It was completely, different than the life we used to. Uh, uh, and it was definitely the Corona, COVID-19 was the reason it was different. I would say it was different. It was different in a sense that it was good. So it was differently good. I had to spend a lot of time with the family. I have 3 kids, 16, 13, and 6, with my wife. So that was good part, less commute time. So I had more time to look at things differently. From the professional side or from the company side, I was forced to think outside of day-to-day operations. So it was good. But it was also different in terms of it was scary. It was every day waking up, making sure yourself and your family are safe and you're staying safe. And also, your business is going to be there tomorrow or next year. So it was scary. The uncertainty from a family or a personal level, it was scary. For the business, it was scary. So in summary, it was differently good, but it was also scary.
Okay. And you just spoke about some of your challenges that you faced over the last 3 months. Could you highlight one of the most challenging situations?
Yeah. Well, once you move from being an employee to becoming an employer at one point of time, that is something we encourage most of the people to look at, and the idea of entrepreneurship is always great to have a job. We love engineers, we love, definitely we love teachers, we love them so much, doctors, but we also, love entrepreneurs. We want people to take that journey and to look at entrepreneurship. So the day in 2006 where I quit my job and I decided to become an entrepreneur and to start our company, I knew things are different. So now you have like 2 families to take care of: the family, your family, your wife, your kids, but your company or your business becomes your family. So with COVID-19, Corona, I think the most difficult challenge for us in the business is to keep people with us. Okay, so we don't have to be forced because of the uncertainty and the difficulties we're facing economically. We don't have to let anybody go. I think that was the big challenge. So we sometimes the uncertainty will force you to cut costs, and cutting costs at this time will be like extremely difficult for you to do. So whenever you look at the family, my work family, my company family, you look at the people. Are you still there?
Yes, you were still here, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so you look at the people that work with you in the company as family members. So if you have to let some of the staff go, it will always hit you on a personal level, because this is not, to them, it's not a job. This is actually, it's a family. So this is a family that you need to keep. So I think it's just keeping the staff, keeping everybody at this time was the most difficult challenge for us.
So, how did you overcome these challenges?
Of course, it's because it's a business challenge and a personal challenge. We spend a lot of time thinking on how can we adopt. Of course, I would say any company or any sound company will be able to survive difficult times for 3 months, for, I would say, 6 months. I mean, they would have the means to do that. But sometimes the uncertainty might go beyond a month or two, it might go a year or two or even 10. So now we looked at the business model itself. Is we really need to look at another business model where if this uncertainty continue, we have other ways to generate revenues. Our business was built on providing good services around good software. This is what we've been doing, and we've been doing it good, and we've been making money providing good service around good software. But that is usually in an economical difficulty. That is very hard to sell, and it takes long time to deliver. So now based on based on the new environment, we have to think in innovative ways to change the business model. So innovation and creativity was the driver for us to change the business model. And I think we have now, we reach where we have a new direction, where we're moving the company or parts of the company into cloud-based solutions. So now we are providing software as a service. So the software itself becomes the service. The advantage of this is easier to sell and easier to deliver. And also, you expect revenues faster, not big revenues like in the service, but you will expect more revenues coming in faster. So if this uncertainty and the economical difficulties goes beyond, the 3 months or the 6 months or the year, we will still be in a position to keep people and to keep the people that work for us, as I said, and to overcome that challenge. I think we made great progress. I think in starting next July, we'll be able to provide software as a service. We'll be able to provide cloud solutions. The last 3 months, because when you look at the people and when you look at business, it's always about two things. Some people want whatever the payment amount associated with that, but also the type of work they do. So now productivity is high, people are busy, and we kept everybody busy because we took on this new direction. And when people are busy during these difficult times, they're less worried, they think less, and they become happier because they're learning new things. And basically going to innovation and creativity of looking in new ways was the way we were able to overcome the challenge, at least for now.
Great. I mean, you touched upon innovation with your solution there, when you're responding to challenges. Innovation plays a key role in the culture of Dwight School Dubai, particularly with SparkTank, and it's something that not only myself, but a lot of teachers within their subject areas try to promote within the culture, the building culture of innovation in our school. So with that idea of innovation, how important is that role when somebody responds to a challenge that they're facing?
That's a very good question. Innovation is generally, well, I'll just say creativity and innovation, I'll combine them together, are very much defining by bringing something new that has value and unique. In order for a person to do that, we say innovator, okay, a creative innovator. In order for a person to do that, you have to be different yourself. So you as a person, if you want to think innovation, you have to think differently. So if we look at an innovator, you will always find an innovator is someone who has great empathy to others, because you want to give them something of great value. So that is a trait or a criteria for innovators. But also you will find innovators are very much, more mindfulness, and they're aware of the things that around them more than others. They're willing to try new things. So basically, an innovator or someone who uses innovation or innovative thinking is someone very familiar and very used to challenges. And that person actually end up enjoying difficulties and challenges, okay? And that's how, innovation will prepare you to face the challenges of today and the difficulties of today and the difficulty of tomorrow. Because at the end, you're a much better person. You are more equipped as creative thinker, as innovator than a traditional or strategic thinker person. So my experience had taught me if people challenge themselves, before they're even being challenged or face difficult, they'll be in a much better position and more equipped to respond to difficulties.
Yeah, well, great. So now for the main question of today's Spark Talk, how can we all respond to challenges more successfully?
Oh, that's thanks, Anish. That's a very big question. That's a very big question. I will always, you will always find me someone who will talk about always two things. Even when I do design thinking, I will always talk about two things: the mental state of mind, your mental preparation, and then the process and the execution and the things you do. I am a strong believer you need both. You need to have this mental prep. You need to be ready. Then you need to have tools and execution. So if you have tools and execution and your mental state, you're mentally not prepared for this, you wouldn't achieve that great success on facing difficulties or responding to difficulties. I would say the first thing you need to do to respond to challenges more successfully, the first thing is you need to believe as a person mentally, difficulties are part of life, challenges are part of life, okay? And as Sheikh Mohammed of Dubai once said, we don't enjoy life if it does not have challenges. So this is something you need to always acknowledge, okay? You need to have a belief. It's normal, it's part of life. Even if we go through a difficult curve, let's enjoy it. And I find it in my personal life or the time I went through difficulties, I find them, they make you worry for a little bit of time, then they become something you enjoy, and you go through them and you come out of them stronger, better, more equipped, as I said earlier. So the first thing is the belief. The second thing is I want to bring to you, especially the student, the young, I want you to have a positive thinking. I want you to always look at things positively. At any point of time, remember there is something called positive thinking in your life. So this positive thinking will always make you look at things in a different way, in a positive way. So even at times of difficulty, if you are at times of difficulties, if you are a positive thinker, you will look at them in a different way. Okay, so in a positive thinking, or to be a positive thinker, we always say, please focus on the things you have at that time. So don't focus on the things that you don't have. So even if you are facing a challenge, like let's say, let me take myself personally, I was still healthy. I was worried about my business, but I was healthy. My family was healthy. I mean, we had a house, somehow we were living in a place together. So they were like, while I'm looking at the other things that it might develop, but there are a lot of good things that I need to look at. So focus on what you have, and also have faith. Sometimes there are things in life will happen where you just can't control. So be a positive thinker is a key to facing challenges and difficulties. And the last thing is there is something, have good relations, stay connected. And, I don't want to use the term we use something called emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is basically, use this emotional, because difficulties come with emotional, a lot of emotions. Use these emotional times to reach out to other people, friends, family members. And we say emotional intelligence, and I don't want to explain it because of the time, but just remember the word emotional intelligence. So these will help you navigate through, and of course, everybody else will tell you, another point, everybody else will tell you work on solution, find solution, implement the solution, and execute the solutions. I mean, that will be normal for problems or for difficulties, but just remember three things: believe, this is part of life, try to enjoy it, be a positive thinker, and be emotionally intelligent. when you connect with other people around you, whether at work or at home.
So, thank you. I mean, thank you very much for actually sharing those three pieces of advice. That belief statement that you've just shared, staying positive. These are great pieces of advice for our students and anyone who's listening here, and also connecting to people and enjoying those positive relationships as well. We've pretty much come to the end of the conversation between Anish and myself, but we would like to open up any further questions to anybody who is currently in the room right now. Is there anybody who would like to ask any more questions to Mr. Khalafallah? I think you might have answered all the questions, sir.
I would like to just add, if I may have maybe a minute or two. Okay.
Sure.
I'd like to add on the positive thinking. I remember when we started the company, just a quick personal story. When we started the company in 2006, 2008, I remember we had tough time. There was a big change. One of our biggest customer at that time was a company called Sun Microsystem. And Sun Microsystem was, because of the difficulty, to be honest, at that time was very much the only customers we had, big customer. And I heard that Sun Microsystem will be bought by another company called Oracle. Oracle is a big software company, second largest software company. At that time, my wife was pregnant and I had my little son. So things were very difficult for me because I felt if, this change actually happens, we will lose, the business, because when Oracle buys Sun Microsystem, we will lose our only customer. And I was like really, thinking negatively, and I was down. I remember one time I met a friend of mine, Dr. Mosley, who used to live in the same building we used to live in. And I remember he was asking me, what's wrong? Why do you look so down? And I told him, we're going through this difficult thing in business and a big change, and I'm worried. And I remember after I told him the story emotionally, looking for him to give me a solution. I remember he looked at me, and all he said, "But okay, I hear you, but why are you so worried? Worry is not going to change anything." And it was a very simple, positive thinking message that changed my life. It was true. I don't need to worry. I just need to stay positive. I remember that night I slept very well. And to make the story short, till this day, Oracle bought Sun Microsystem. Till this day, I'm talking about 2008, 12 years later, Oracle is still #1 customer for us. So no change. Actually, it becomes even better. We're selling more to Oracle. So that worry was not needed. This is to stay positive. Two last advice I want to give to the students and maybe to everyone. In addition to staying positive, always have a vision. We call visualized vision. Okay, always try to see this vision. To always think of your next. Is it the next big university? Imagine that next big university. So if you want to go to one of the Ivy schools or top schools somewhere, you need to visualize that. Make it like a visual picture. Live day in and day out, imagining that picture. The second thing, you need to understand time of great value. Do not waste your time. Try to utilize your time. Time is extremely important. Teach yourself how to manage your time wisely. The last thing is learn what we call it the power of appreciation. Appreciate your teacher, appreciate your school for everything they do for you. Appreciate your parents, your friends. The power of appreciation. I just felt like this was missing to complete the picture. And I'm ready for questions, if any.
Yes,
okay.
definitely.
Are there any questions at all? Asil?
Would you say like positive thinking motivated you to continue and like continue your company when you felt kind of like you couldn't continue, if there was like a time like that, maybe?
Hi, Asil. How are you? Asil is a good
Good,
friend
how are
of
you?
our family. Her family are good friends of ours. Yes, Asil, positive thinking is what made me actually start the company. But you're absolutely right. Positive thinking is what actually made me willing to continue on directions that I wasn't sure if I will succeed. Positive thinking was an affirmation to me that we will make it, I will make it, we will make it, we will succeed. But absolutely, yes, absolutely. And it's very, Asil, I want to say positive thinking is very easy to understand, is very difficult to implement. That's why I'm talking to you at this age. I want you to have positive thinking in your life starting now. As time continues, you will master that skill and it will help you achieve a lot of your goals, but it will help you become, you will become more happy, okay? And you will accept things no matter how difficult they are. And you will be happy in any situation. Thank you, Asil. Say hi to the parents.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Asil. Is there anyone else who would like to ask a question? Let me go to gallery view, see if there's anybody else at all. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of our very first Spark Talks sessions. I would like to thank our guest, Mr. Hisham Khalafallah, for his insights on our big question, how can we respond to challenges successfully? I'd also like to thank our co-host, our very talented Anish Dake, who has joined me on this quest to find out some answers to do with our big question. Anish, have you enjoyed being the co-host for this show?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I enjoyed it very much. And also this is very much out of my comfort zone, so I'd say it's definitely different.
Would you be could we possibly call upon your hosting skills in the future for an upcoming Spark Talks event?
Yeah, for sure. I'm always ready to do but more like anything else that pushes the boundaries.
Absolutely. Well done, Anish. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. I do hope you have a wonderful afternoon with your families and your friends if you get to see them. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.